So I got an honest confession about this channel. I've been reading this book by Robert Caro, The Power Broker. This is on a dude named Robert Moses who shaped New York City over the last century. Like literally, he did so much land development, he changed the shape of Manhattan. Okay, he made beaches. All right, this guy really literally reshaped the reality of New York. And I'm reading this. I'm a huge Robert Caro fan. I got into his work through the Lyndon B. Johnson series, and Power Broker was written before that. It was the book that really put him on the map. And people, if you want to understand the deeper mechanisms of what's going on in this game, this techno-political game that we're playing in the United States, you need to be reading Robert Caro. But it's a 1,200-page book. It's the size of a dictionary. I know you're not going to read it, so let me break down one of the interesting things for you that I found in that book. Robert Moses, despite the fact that he shaped New York City, shaped it, had it within the palm of his hand, could do whatever he wanted. Okay, he had maximum power. But you probably don't know the name. I didn't before I looked into other Robert Caro books. No idea who this guy was. And that's exactly the point. You didn't know his name, but he shaped one of the most advanced cities, and certainly the most advanced city in the USA, over a large part of the last century, and you don't know his name. And more startling than that, he was never elected to office. At one point, he held 12 offices in the government in parallel, but none of those were publicly voted upon offices. So he was never elected by the people, but he wielded immense power. Probably more power than the mayor, maybe even more than the governors of the state of New York over the years. This brings me to my main point, that we have three branches of government. We have the judicial, we have the legislative, we have the executive. I'm proud of myself for remembering those from high school social studies class I was likely to fall asleep in pretty often. Wish I hadn't. Now I'm paying the price for it now. But ostensibly we have three branches of government, right? And these are typically elected officials in one way or the other, right? Either a presidential election, or if you're on the Supreme Court, there's nominations. So somewhat elected, at least a very visible process, right? But we now have a fourth branch of government. It struck me when reading this book that that's really what this channel is largely about, is the machinations and the movements of this fourth branch of government. The fourth branch of government is Silicon Valley tech companies. It is Palantir, it is Google, it is Meta, in tracking their movements, tracking what they're doing. Because you see, I can easily, and I do for the channel sometimes, pull up the voting record of a senator or a representative. We can see that voting record. We could write to the representative. Even if they're pretty well known. I saw somebody just like rock up on Todd Cruz the other day. Todd Cruz. What's the guy? Shoot, what's the guy's name? Ted Cruz. Todd Cruz? Ted Cruz. The other day. Cruise missile. Somebody just walked up on him the other day to do like a gotcha interview. So it's like these people have offices in the Capitol. They're accessible. They have mailing addresses. We can see their voting records. Sure, we don't know everything about them, but a lot of their lives are in the limelight. But what do we know about these tech executives? It's one of the most compelling things. One of my most watched types of videos on the YouTube channel is when I do a deep dive on a person. I haven't really known what to make of that until now. I mean, I'm talking Elon Musk, Sam Altman. It's generated like the lion's share of subscribers to this channel. Like probabilistically, if you're watching this right now and you're subscribed to my channel, first of all, if you're not subscribed to the channel, if you're already subscribed to the channel, statistically, you're over 50% likely to have subscribed after you watch one of my long form, hour-long deep dives on someone like Alex Karp or Peter Thiel, which is a multi-part, and go check it out if you haven't. Those convert people to subscribers at a really high rate. And I think I know what to make of that now, as you all are curious, and I'm curious too, what these people get up to. We're curious about what they get up to, and it's less interesting if I were to do a deep dive on Ted Cruz, for instance, because anybody can look that up. I don't have to go to primary sources. I don't have to find people that know these Silicon Valley elites. I can just look up a bunch of stuff about Ted Cruz. They're rather public people, somewhat. An argument could be made there. But these tech execs are extremely shadowy. And I didn't really recognize it until I started doing my multi-part series on Dario Amodei. And I started doing research and I started asking around to see, like, do I have, I'm only 1 degree, 2 degrees of separation from any of these tech CEOs. That's not to say I have immense status, but I've been in this game for a while and I've worked in West Coast tech companies. So I probably know somebody who knows the person, or at the very least, I know somebody who knows somebody who knows the person. And one, I can't find anyone. I can find a ton of people that are connected to Sam Altman in my life, a ton of people that are connected to Peter Thiel, even more that are connected to Alex Karp. Can't really find anyone connected to Dario Amodei. And then I start digging. And the weirdest thing about doing those episodes on Dario Amodei, that's why I did 3, is I just kept digging. And I thought, eventually I'm going to hit something. And I never really hit something. I had his doctoral dissertation, which was really interesting. You can make a lot of inference out of that about what he's doing and why he's doing it. But I couldn't... it sucked. I felt bad about it. I couldn't dig things up on Dario Amodei. Couldn't dig things up on Dario Amodei. It was just dead end after dead end after dead end. To the point, I'll give you an example if you haven't watched that one. As of today, this guy is rapidly, he's on headlines. He's not a household name, but if you keep up with the news at all, Dario Amodei. He's the head of the second largest AI lab in the country right now. Maybe third, because Grok is pretty good. And we don't even know if he has a family. We don't know if he's married. Is he gay? Is he straight? What's his orientation? Does he have a partner? Does he have kids? We don't know any of that. We don't know any of that. Name me one senator, governor, representative, mayor who we just have no idea if they're married or not and if they have kids or not. You can't name one. We know that about everybody. And we know that about, most company executives, I would say. But in tech, it gets very shadowy. So it's the darkest corner of our government. I argue that it is the fourth branch of government now. Silicon Valley is. People like Asha from Xbox, who's under a lot of fire right now, from me in particular, because she has no qualifications to lead the Xbox division. And Mark Andreessen are being appointed to various government or government-adjacent positions, in Asha's case with the Federal Reserve, to advise on things. These are big players, movers, and shakers. The heads of industry, Tim Cook, Sam Altman, are being invited to the White House to dine and chat with Trump about who knows what. Do you know? I don't know. Do we know anybody that knows? We know what the headlines say, but we don't actually know what they're talking about. And so we have a situation that's very similar to the power broker. It's very similar to Robert Moses, where none of these people were elected to an office by us. I didn't elect Satya Nadella. I don't think he should have come over in the first place because we have plenty of qualified American workers. We shouldn't be sponsoring H-1B visas, but that's another point. I didn't vote for Mark Zuckerberg, who the intelligence agencies put at the helm of Front for an intelligence agency project. It used to be called LifeLog and now is called Facebook. I didn't vote for Sam Altman, who's never held a real job in his life. I certainly didn't vote for Dario Amodei, who I don't know from Adam. I don't even know if he has kids, wife, husband, 10 spouses. We even know that about Alex Karp, for what it's worth. Okay? People ascribe Palantir with this huge shadowy mystique, but we saw in my research from Alex Karp last week, we even know his unconventional situation of being having two girlfriends and being geographically monogamous, as he refers to it. We even know those basic facts about Alex Karp, and he's quite transparent in interviews, despite the fact that he's the head of Palantir. But for a company that literally, most Americans are using either directly, they're using Anthropic, or under the hood for some service that they're using now that's powered by Anthropic. The whole country is dependent on this service. We don't know anything about the guy that's leading it. We don't know what he wants. We can only infer, which I'm pretty good at. So if you stay tuned on this channel, I do more of the deep dives. I'm pretty good at my inference. We can read the PhD dissertations. We can read the SEC filings for the company. We can connect the dots and we can extrapolate. But it's just that, it's extrapolation. We don't know the facts about these people. They are unelected officials in our government. I think that's what this whole channel is about.